Om Sri Sai Ram, Om Sri Sai Nadhaya Namaha, Om Sri Sai Parabrahmane Namaha. Today we will discuss Sri Saisatcharita 38th chapter. In this chapter, the main storyline is how Baba cooked food and served everybody, and at the same time how he taught Nana about the importance of following the dharma, achara, or like following the what we believe in. He showed Nana that with an example in this chapter also, and some other small instances also were portrayed in this chapter. Sai is Atmaram, and he is perfect divine bliss. And the majority of the times he tried to teach his devotees to be desireless because he himself was desireless. The liquid essence of pure self was poured into the mold of Brahman, and out of this has emerged the form of the crust jewel of the saints, that is our Sai. Performance of the charity and righteous action is always important. Here, Baba is trying to emphasize that of all the charities, the giving food is the most auspicious kind of charity, because you can't go wrong there. If you give money to somebody, or if you give any other materials to somebody, we don't know exactly that giving is put to good use or not. Whereas giving food to somebody who is hungry never goes waste. So that's why giving food in charity is the best thing. That's what Sai is trying to teach us. According to our scriptures, food is Parabrahma. From food itself, all the beings are born. By food, lives are sustained, and having departed into food again, they enter. So, when an uninvited guest arrives at any odd time, a householder should make the quest to make them happy with food. Those who send them back hungry invite trouble to themselves. Giving charity of money, property, clothes requires some discrimination. But in the matter of food, no such consideration is necessary. Whoever comes at any time to the door, it is not good to disrespect them. Baba always ate the food that was obtained through bhiksha. He used to feed everyone without any discrimination, including animals. And if we remember from Saisatcharita, he used to cook sometimes in the courtyard of the Madhwarka Mai, and he had like a big hearth on the top of which a huge vessel was placed with a proper measure of water. And sometimes he cooked sweet rice, sometimes palav with mutton, sometimes he prepared wheat flour dumplings, cooked them in varan. Sometimes he made the wheat rogda and rolled out wheat panga, put them in the varan that was being cooked, together with the dumplings very gently. After grinding the spices on a stone slab, he made everything ready for the cooking by himself. So he used to prepare everything with his own hands. Even he used to go to the shops and bring food materials with his own money. There were, like, he had two kinds of cooking vessels. One was very big, and then it was good for like 100 people, and then another one is a little bit smaller. That one was for 50 people. he would cook in these vessels um, the the food that is required for that day. Then, for all the requirements, Baba went personally to get all of them. And like we talked, I mean, he paid cash immediately. There was no question of credit. Salt, chilies, cucumbers, or whatever needed, um, cumin seeds, peppercorns, vegetables, coconut, whatever required for that day to cook, he used to bring all by himself. Sitting in the masjid and setting up the grinding stone with his own hands, he used to grind the wheat, pulses, millet, and all that, and then he used to prepare the flour so that he can make roti with those things. So everything was handmade by Baba. As Baba was cooking with meat, he wanted to send someone to get the meat. So Baba decided to test Dada Kelkar by asking him to get meat, knowing that he is a pure Brahmin. He follows the rituals very sincerely. When he was about to leave, he will ask him to send his servant. Later, when the servant was also going to the market, he stops him too. Baba here checking with Kelkar, and he wanted to teach him something also here. But Kelkar was obeying his guru's order, and he loves Sai so much that he did not even think twice. He knew that offering money, grain, and clothes is not the only dakshina, but implicit obedience to the guru's orders is the real dakshina that pleases the guru most. So he has real faith in Baba, and he offers his whole being, and because he wants to get Baba's grace. Whoever does, and in a similar way, having real faith and offering the whole being, ultimately will attain Guru's grace. Here, Baba's intention was not about the meat, but to teach the proper way in the spiritual path. It is very hard to get rid of past impressions, vasanas, and our attachment to this body, mind, and ego. When the steam came out of the cooking vessel and the contents of the cauldron was fiercely boiling, Baba rolled up his sleeve and pushing his arm inside, churned the whole mass from side to side and up and down. Seeing the vessel bubbling and in need of stirring, Baba would show this incredible leela at such a time. Then he used to serve people, and they used to line up in the Dwaraka Mai. Here, Hemant Pant clears the doubt of people about serving meat. Baba used to give meat only to those people who can eat. So he never fed anybody who's not supposed to eat or who doesn't want to eat. Um, the next story is about Nana Sahib's disrespect of the shrine. People used to infer in their own way that Baba was a Muslim or Hindu, and because of various reasons, when they used to watch Baba, someone used to assume Muslim, or someone used to assume Baba as Hindu. But he's beyond all those religions. There is no discrimination for Baba. Sai is a self-realized soul, and these great people have no religion and no caste. Baba never spoke about his whereabouts. People didn't know where he was born. People didn't know who are the parents. He never talked about this body and this mind. He just existed in Shirdi like any other self-realized soul would do. If somebody says that I was born to this parent, and then there is a biography involved, because that means you came. But whereas Baba, he's like Avatara. That's why he has no birth, no death. So when you are beyond all these things, then how could be a Muslim or a Brahmin? If he was a Muslim, how could he keep Duni fire ever burning in the Dwarakamai? How could there be a Tulasi Vrindavan there? How could he allow blowing of conches and ringing of bells and playing the musical instruments? And then how could he allow all the different forms of Hindu worship? And how could he take care of all those Hindu temples there? Had he been a Muslim, could he have pierced his ears, and could he have been spent money from his pocket for repairing these Hindu temples? On the contrary, he never tolerated the slightest disrespect to Hindu shrines and deities. Through this story, he showed how we need to follow the customs. Once Nana Chandorkar came to Shirdi with the husband of his sister-in-law, Mr. Binnewala. They both came to Dwarka Mai and sat before Baba. And then, so all of a sudden, Baba got angry with Nana Sahib and said, "You are so long in my company, and how do you behave like this?" Nana could not understand anything, and his mind was really disturbed, and humbly he requests Baba to explain. Then Baba tells him that just to remind yourself, since you started coming to Shirdi, since the time you started at home, I mean, where did you go? What did you do? That kind of thing. And then at Kopargam, what did you do? Then Nana Chandorkar remembers that he took a bath in Godavari there. And then when they were doing that, Binewala asks him, let us have a darshan of Datta there. There is a temple of Datta there. Usually, when Nana Sahib comes to Shirdi, he stops there and then takes a bath in the Godavari and have a darshan of Datta and then come to Shirdi. That's his usual ritual. But at this time, he was in a hurry to see Baba. He ignored, even though Mr. Binnewala reminded him that he wanted to see this. But when Nana said this, Binnewala followed his thought and then came to Shirdi. That's when Baba reminded him what he did wrong. So then Nana apologizes to Baba, and then Baba reminds him that when you were taking a bath, um, you had a big thorn in your foot, and that gave you trouble. This was the slightest punishment that he experienced and warned him to be more careful in the future. So, like that, Baba tried to teach disrespecting a shrine is not a good thing. You just have to do what you need to do as a custom. You don't have to go beyond to do these kind of things, but if it is a routine custom that you follow, you don't need to break routine because Sai is Datta, Sai is all the gods, he's everywhere. So we can see Sai in every aspect of the deities and in any temple. So next in this chapter, there is a they talk about a hodgepodge kind of food items. After the arati was over, Baba sent away all the people with the woody and blessings usually. But Baba used to bless all the food also that was gathered, that was given by or brought in by various devotees, and then he used to mix them up like a hodgepodge. And then it was offered to gods and consecrated it. Then portions of the same were given to the people waiting there for Baba's Naivedya and Prasad. And the rest was served to the inner party with the Baba at the center. The bhaktas are sitting in two rows, then dined in there, sitting in the Dwarka Mai. Baba asked Shama and Nanacha Sahib Nimonkar daily to serve the consecrated food to all the people sitting inside and a little bit outside of Dwarkamai. And then Nana Sahib Nimonkar and Basama used to look after the needs, individual needs and comforts of the people coming to Shirdi. This they did very carefully and willingly all the time. And at the end of the chapter, there was an incident where buttermilk was given by Baba to Hemat Pant. So let us see that. Once Hemat Pant was in Baba's company in Dwarkamai, somebody brought like a lot of buttermilk and it was looking great. And Baba offers him this buttermilk. Just before that, because all the naivedyas are also distributed so much, and Hemat Pant ate fully, his stomach was full. So at that time, when he was full, Baba gives him this cup of buttermilk. But he was afraid that there is no space inside. Hemat Pant was worried about it, but it smells good and then it looks good, and he wanted to take a sip. And then when he takes a sip, oh my God, it was very tasty. So, but he couldn't, he was worried that it's not going to fit in his stomach. Then Baba looks at his faltering attitude. Then Baba says, drink it all. You won't get any such opportunity hereafter. And then once Baba says that, Hemat Pant takes the cup and then drinks all the buttermilk. But we all know what happened afterwards. Baba's Mahasamadhi came after a few days. So Hemat Pant had a good chance of drinking that Amrita in the form of buttermilk given by Baba. So what we can learn from this chapter is we have to remember that just giving away the materialistic objects as dana is not enough. Our attitude, our mindset, and at the same time there should be some kind of physical work also need to put in there so that there will be some kind of meaning to that dana that we do. This is what Baba tried to teach us. And at the same time, the cooking part, when we look at the cooking part, Baba used to cook and then with his bare hand he used to do it. So whatever is being cooked there is agnana, that is boiling all the time. And the Baba's blessed hand is the one which makes it really palatable, which makes it really become as a naivedya and a prasada from Baba. Because once the Guru's hand is put into some kind of work, automatically miracles happen and Agnana will be gone. So this was the teaching that Baba was showing us here, and at the same time he was teaching us not to forget our customs, not to forget the routine that we follow, because body, mind needs routine. And then from there we need to grow. This is what Baba wanted to teach us. Sai lived like a sannyasi and he always followed the dharma of a mendicant. He followed the sannyasa dharma. His life was very simple and he never had interest in material things. Baba taught us that we need to have internal purity so that he can help us to walk the path that he showed, that is Shraddha Saburi. So with this we will conclude the satsang on Saisatcharita chapter 38. Om Sri Sai Nadharpanamastu. Om Sri Sai Ram. Om Sri Sai Nadhaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai.